It finally happened. Ladies and gentlemen, it finally happened. The day that all the fans and Sign was waiting for. They finally went on a date, and it was awkward as that entire date was awkward as and it's understandable. I mean, it sort of bookends the entire date with this concept that these two are war orphans. These are two that were, like, their entire lives were ripped out from them. They got nothing left. They were brought in by some old geezer on one side or the other, Eisen or Heiter. These two old geezers that brought them in, showed them how to survive in such a punishing world, and they've been traveling this entire time. Like, there's no semblance of normalcy here. They're not in some village, growing up there, having fun and doing different things. No, these are two individuals that are very kind of out of their comfort zone. They're extremely out of their comfort zone. I think the thing that I love so much about this is that there's so much said but not said. Is that the right way to put it? Shown but not said. Yeah, there's the facial expressions with, like, Fern. I think that moment where she trips and Stark catches her, I think there was, like, an acknowledgement there. I think there was an acknowledgement there of, like, we're trying way too hard here. We're completely not ourselves. And it kind of sucks that later on you have that little statement that's made by her and the idea that Stark's not being himself. And I'm like, girl, this entire time you have not been yourself. There's, like, a little bit of hypocrisy here that I kind of wish that Fern acknowledged, but maybe for later. Maybe later at some point Fern will realize this. Stark was seemingly like a little bit of himself in that entire date, but you were not yourself, which is fine. It's okay for her to be beautiful. It's okay for her to try to be cute. It's okay for her to present herself differently because she's trying to reel this boy in. It's okay for her to act different. She doesn't always have to be this way. She can try new things, but at the same time, it's like, don't be shocked if he's doing the same thing. Stark is trying to make this special somehow, and he doesn't know how to. He had to ask Frieren. He had to ask the old fart what to do. Oh, it's so good. Like, this, again, there's so much to really cover in this episode. And then, of course, we had the whole going into the northern plateau area, and that's a wake-up call. That is an absolute wake-up call that for 3 days straight, they're on their toes, running everywhere, trying to survive, and then they get to some peaceful place, and then they end up having a boss already. They just got to the first town, and they already got their mini-boss, and that mini-boss has got them really questioning a lot of stuff, which they did add a little bit of extra context in that whole situation there, in the idea that they have to really change their formation. They have to change how they do things, and I'm kind of wondering how that's going to come to fruition going forward. But anyways, episode 32, episode 4 of season 2. Let's just dive into it. Starting things off, kicking off the episode as I usually do, go through every single scene and kind of just deep dive in this entire episode. But yes, let's kick things off with the very beginning, which again is the whole date. I'm glad in the beginning of the episode they actually added the braid. I mentioned this in the previous episode. It felt like they were going to skip that scene just because they had a anime original scene between Frieren and Fern, regarding the date. So I thought they were going to skip this, but no, thankfully, the opening of the episode, they had the angry braiding. Fern going over there, which one should I wear? Frienden's like, they're the same, but please, before you leave, do my hair. Braiding. Please. I just love Frieren's voice. Like, I just absolutely adore this Sousou so much and how she portrays Frieren. It's like, please don't do that. Don't do that angrily. It's like this old fart that just needs to be taken care of, and first just sit here bullying her and nobody's there to stop her. It's so dorky. She's like, stop it, stop, it's mean. Now, I have to note here before I forget, it's interesting that at the end of the episode, after obviously Fern has a really great date with Stark, it seems like that's the indication there. She was happy in the end. It was a good date. In the end, she got exactly what she wanted, and it turned out, yes, there's a little bit of misgivings there and little slight disappointments in there, but she's still happy. She got what she wanted. It was a good experience for her. So she decides to braid Frieren's hair again, and it's really nice. Like, she did a really good job the second time, but this time it's got a little bit of frizziness to it. It's a little bit forced. But at the end of the episode, she said, this is how she does my hair when she's happy. So she's happy there, for sure. I wonder if here she's happy, but she's a little frustrated at the same time because she braided the hair. She only braids the hair whenever she's happy. And Fern was happy going on this date. She was a little bit frustrated with Frieren. So it's mixed messaging right there. It's mixed messaging. But I did love that. And her going to the onsen, the lady's like, oh, your hair's done so cute. It's so great. It's so great. But yes, the date. Yeah. Points off, in my opinion, to Stark for wearing the usual. But again, this is a guy that doesn't even know what the hell he's doing. He just figured, like, he even tells to Fern, like, you're not wearing your usual outfit. Like, what? Oh, it's a date. That's right. We should probably wear something different. But yeah, him waiting there, recalling him, challenging Fern like that and her accepting it. But then Fern comes out. She looked beautiful. My girl looked beautiful. I was like, yes, yes. She looking beautiful. She looking beautiful. She did herself up. Like the whole scene with her, like doing her hair and trying to make sure it's all perfect and everything. Then coming out there with the new shoes and everything. This girl went all out. She's taking advantage of this moment. She finally got it. Now, here's the interesting thing. Because yes, there is a little bit of discussion here about specifically Frieren. Now, the anime has quite a bit added to this entire segment with the date. Specifically, the fact that, yes, as they're talking about the fact that Frieren goes by here, goes to the marketplace, and yeah, she fell asleep on a bunch of stuff that she bought, all that stuff. That's all technically in both of them. What the anime added a little additionally here is a little bit of side remark here about the fact that they always talk about Frieren. Even right now, when they're on a date together, they're still talking about Frieren. That's not a bad thing. I honestly think that's not really a bad thing because, again, these two are very heavily tied in with Frieren. She's a very important part of their lives, and it's a commonality they can find. It's very easy, and it's a good thing when you're with somebody that you find a common ground. You find something the two of you can connect on that you can bounce off of. Then you could talk about interesting things that the two of you don't know about, and you can kind of test the waters about what you can present and give to the other individual that they'll find interesting. But this is a fine thing here. But I did find that funny in the anime. They're like, they specifically have them point out, we're talking about Frieren. And even later on, I don't even think it's that part's in the manga either. They go, we're doing it again. We're talking about Frieren again because we're talking about Himmel and Frieren, all that kind of stuff. Again, it's not a bad thing. But here was the interesting little part. The next two scenes were mostly anime original. That yes, in the manga they do go to the place where it has the, necklaces and whatnot, and they do go get meat buns. But the two added things here is the little after scene of the couples buying the necklace and the falling scene. Now, with the necklace thing, I think that says quite a bit there because, and again, this is one of those things where I hope that this was kind of approved by the mangaka. It adds a bit of like, this girl wanted this. It gives that sense of like, man, Fern really wanted this necklace, but that seems to be only portrayed in the anime. That she was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And he's like, oh, that's kind of ordinary. Yeah, they're probably, from magic items or whatever. And they're like, let's go check out the other stalls. And then Fern notices that somebody else's date buys them the necklace. And I'm like, Stark, she wanted it, man. She wanted that so bad. She wanted something to commend this date. She wanted something to like mark this date for her. It was a little bit of an oof, a little bit of a gut punch. But I think specifically her tripping, I think that's sort of a bigger telling sign in my opinion. And the idea that yes, they go get the meat buns and then she goes over there and she trips and she goes to fall. Think my boy jumping in there and catching her. Good boy. I was like, there's not a chance, but there's a chance. Now, here's the thing. Like this little scene right here got me. Like there's so much to be said about the directing and the animators and the artists and what they did with this scene because there's so many mixed messages in this little shot right here. The fact that, of course, she is outside of her comfort zone, wearing something that she normally doesn't wear. This is causing her to be able to trip. This is not something that she'd normally do. She's going to trip here because she's not used to these shoes. And he catches her and says, yeah, it seems like it's hard to walk in those. And I feel like there's a lot in sort of the expression of her. And the idea that she's a little bit shocked at first. She accepts what he did for her. And I think there's like a little bit of conflict in her and the idea that this is the normal Stark that she's used to, but she's also not used to this. That's what I'm sort of getting from this. Again, mixed messages. I'm getting mixed messages from her facial expressions right here. It feels uncomfortable, but comfortable at the same time. But I thought for a moment, I was hoping for a moment right here that she was realizing that she's trying too hard. The fact that he's pointing this out and he's wearing his usual outfit, she's going out of her way to do this thing, and it's causing her to look a little dorky. That, in my opinion, she's trying a little bit too hard, and she's realizing that. But again, it's too counter to the statements made later on when she points out that Stark's acting different and not really pointing out that she herself is acting different. So I don't know. But I love this scene, though. Because, again, I get so many mixed messages from it. It just feels so conflicted. She looks so conflicted in this one little brief moment right here. But yes, I do love the scene of them looking out on the city itself, talking about Himmel and how there's so many statues. And again, pointing out the fact that they're talking about Frieren again and Himmel and all that kind of stuff. But yes, him asking her, did she not have fun? And she says, why do you say that? Because you didn't smile even once. And that's when she says, yes, I enjoyed it, but you didn't seem like yourself, Stark. And I'm like, girl, he's literally wearing his usual outfit. Yes, he's trying too hard. He's trying to please you. He's running you everywhere. He's doing the playbook that Frieren showed him. He's not being his usual self. He's not like going, oh, let's go to the weapon shop then, or something like that. I guess that's what Fern expected. But no, he's taken her to a bunch of places that Frieren said that she would like. But I'm like, girl, Fern, of everybody in this date, you're the one acting different. And again, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It was sweet. She looked absolutely beautiful. And I was rooting for her the entire time to get what she wants, but she wasn't acting herself, which is probably a good thing. She's not, constantly bickering at him and saying that he's insensitive and getting angry all the time. She was keeping it zipped. Like the entire date, yes, she made a little comment here and there of like, him wearing his usual or whatever, but I mean, she could have had so many opportunities that she could, say, Stark, you didn't even try with your outfit. Are you even putting effort in this? You're so insensitive for not buying that necklace for me. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? We shouldn't be eating meat buns. We should be eating at a diner or something like that. She could have said so many things of her own desire for a date to criticize him, but she didn't. She was allowing herself to be led without making criticisms of points. Completely different than the usual Fern. And again, that's a good thing. It's a fine thing. If that's what she wants to do, if that's the role that she wants to play into, if this is a point where she just wants to be cute, do it, girl. But don't criticize him for it. It was so funny. It was so funny in the moment she said that. I'm like, you're not saying that. My gosh, dude. But yeah, Stark says that he asked Frieren because he wanted to make it a special and he didn't know how to. And again, that goes in that whole thing where, and she likes this, you racked your brain for me and that makes me very happy and all that kind of stuff. But that plays in the whole thing they talk about afterwards, that they're both war orphans. She never thought that she'd have a peaceful time like this, enjoying this and relaxing like this. She never expected that she'd ever have this moment like this. And again, it's thanks to Heiter and Eisen for kind of bringing them in, showing there's going to be something ahead of them. And again, now they're out on their own and they're following Frieren everywhere. Taking care of Frieren, their child Frieren. Now they're doing this whole stuff right here. They can find their own little peaceful moments. And that's special. That's special. And again, I think that plays into sort of how like awkward and broken they are as individuals, going on dates and stuff like that, as these are two children that are absolutely having their childhood ruined by the fact that there was all this war going on, that their homes were destroyed and everything. It sucks. But yeah, we get a brief shot of why Eisen took in Stark, and it's because that's what Himmel would do. That's what Himmel would do. But yeah, and we also get to see Frieren and Fern in the hot springs, and Fern's all happy. Got a little smile going on. It was cute. Get the little shot of Frieren and her date with Himmel. We get to see that date that they mentioned last episode. And the fact that we're looking for that cat. I do love the messaging. Every single time Himmel says something, it's like something profound comes out of his mouth. Sometimes it's very simple, but it's profound. And the idea that Himmel views, like, no matter what you do, even if it does lead to failure, it's always like the process. You have to enjoy that process of doing something. I've experienced that a lot whenever there's like, when I'm trying to go for a goal or something like that, I feel like I'm never achieving it, or I fail to achieve it, or I fail to achieve it fast enough. But I have to learn to kind of enjoy the experience, that journey towards that thing. Because if you're not enjoying that journey towards that goal, you're wasting this massive amount of time of your life. So it's a good thing. It's a good message there. But yes, the rest of the episode was going to the Northern Plateau, which, damn, they're going to have to really step up their game very, very quickly as, yes, they get to the gate, they get themselves supplied up. They get a little comment about her briefcase, which I don't know if they've ever mentioned before, but I'm assuming her briefcase, like some sort of like bag of unending or something like that. Say, like whatever you put in it, like it like goes in a warp hole or something like that, because she's crammed a lot of stuff in there and it seems like it fits somehow. So I wouldn't doubt it. As much stuff as she's pulled out of that briefcase, I wouldn't doubt it at all. But yeah, they get to the gate. Fern uses her certificate for her first class mage benefits. And yes, shortly later, we find out why you need to be first class in order to go past this gate. I did kind of make a comment about that at some point, and now I kind of question as to why citizens, I would assume that citizens like to the north or whatever can still come over. But I kind of questioned why they were so strict about who goes where, because it's like, if you want to go there and die, why would you stop somebody? But as we see here, there's a really good reason why they kind of regulate who goes past the gate, because Stark's like, wow, this place is really peaceful. I thought you had to be like really strong. Really, dude? It's just like Jurassic Park scene out of nowhere. So these massive dinosaurs popping up, and they're just constantly running 3 days straight of little rest because they're just constantly being attacked by things. Yeah, it's a sign that things are going to start getting really dicey for them. I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be pretty breakneck at this point going forward, or if they're going to chill out at some point. Because I think Frieren sort of mentioned something about them sort of getting in the groove or whatever, but yeah, they find some cabin, get there to rest for a little bit. The guy asks them to take out some monster that's attacking caravans and whatnot, and that they're having troubles with. And Stark actually asks a question that I was kind of starting to get as well, is like, why do people live up here if it's this bad? Again, 3 days straight. I don't even know why this cabin is still standing. I'm guessing they have some sort of warding spell or something in the area, but it's like, how is this building still standing? If there's monsters this deadly out in this area, and Frieren, Fern, and Stark are like just struggling to survive, how is this family alive out here? But yeah, why would you be here is the question mark. And he's like, well, this is my family. My family's lineage is here. Like, all of our memories are here. We grew up here. I grew up here. My father grew up here. My grandparents grew up here. This is their homeland. So you can't just up and leave it. I could see it, but again, after everything they fought, I'm kind of like, I'd be out of here. I'd be out of here. You can't enjoy those memories of the family if you're dead. But anyways, yes, they go on the road. They end up running into the monster. Dude was insane buff. Buff dude with a massive, like, guts sword. Monster with his massive, like, guts blade that Stark has to constantly, like, deflect. Now, again, here's another one of those moments where I really do hope that there's a lot of, like, input from the mangaka, because they have, like, expanded a lot of the fights in this series in the anime adaptation. But I do kind of hope that there was a lot of input here, because there's a strong emphasis here about how everything they normally do, their normal route of fighting monsters and whatnot, is not working anymore. Which is a sign that, yeah, now that they're up in the north here, they're going to have to start doing revisions to their tactics, you know, their play out. Not just simply Stark goes out there, gets attention, Frieren goes up in the air and nukes it. You're going to have to do more than just Stark goes out, Frieren goes up, nukes it. Every single time. They're going to have to build up some strategies here. Again, something that's not in the manga that I'm hoping is, you know, true here. Because even in the after discussion, you know, once they finished off the thing, even there's a lot of discussion about the idea they got to start building up their strategies. They can't just always rely, like, Stark pulled us through this time. Yeah, like my boy. Stark pulled us through this time, but we can't always rely on that. We got to build some strategies here. But yeah, overall, really, really phenomenal little fight here. Great animation. Just love it. Just chef kiss stuff here. But yeah, even having the point where Stark's like strangling the damn thing. It's strong, but so am I. I'm not going to lose. And then Frieren like nukes the thing, and Stark thinks he's going to die, but thankfully Fern like put this shield on him. I like that afterwards. It's like, I can't move my legs because I thought I was going to die. I thought that you were going to nuke me. I love it. Fern called him pathetic. It's like, come on. Guy had a massive, like, Zoltarag nuke coming down on him. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. Again, very big wake-up call for them going in the north, and I'm very curious if they'll kind of emphasize that more going forward, or if this is going to be their only time to kind of emphasize that. But anyways, cool stuff, cool stuff. I seen a little bit of a snippet in the preview for the next episode, or at least the little kind of, you know, dialogue that they show on the screen and you can hear. Slight spoiler for one of those lines of dialogue that was in the episode preview. They gotta buy Frieren back. What happened to Frieren? If it is something they sell Frieren, we'll see. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the episode. Thank you guys so much for dropping by. Hope you guys enjoy this video as always. If you did, hit the like button. I really appreciate you guys' support. But until next time, y'all take care.